I think you should come by appointment between you and Mr. Bashir Yasar, because sometimes you miss both of you together, and that's a very heavy day for the people.
He has put Russian on me already. He has told me to ask 2 questions and leave room for me.
Has he already?
Yes.
But he doesn't know how many partial questions you have. Any questions, please? Other than the two, B2? Huh? Yes.
Assalamu alaikum. So I would like to know, can you explain what is the significance of the number 7? You know, the Surah Fatiha is the 7 verses of Surah Fatiha. When you go for Hajj, Tawaf is you do 7 times Tawaf, and then Sa'i you also do 7 times. What is the significance of this number 7?
7 is used not only by Islam, but also previously by Bible to indicate a complete circle when a creation is completed. And also there are 7 days to a week, which is also common between every people. So this is a very significant word to indicate completion of one circle. So this is in the Holy Quran, Surah Fatiha indicates the completion of the circle of spiritual creation. It began with Adam and it got culminated in Hazrat Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. It began in the first book of Revelation, whatever it was, and was culminated in the Holy Quran. So the 7 is a word of completion and a full circle. Please. I'm looking at you. No.
You want to ask us? I don't mind, sir. So my question starting from yesterday, sir, I was asking about the Quran Muqatabeen. Could it be, sir, Nafs-e Amara and Nafs-e Mutmainna be translated as Quran Muqatabeen? Because as you said, there is no book and there are no angels.
No, I never said no angels. Don't attribute things to me.
Sorry.
I said there is no book like your books. But the system of recording, as has been explained in the Holy Quran, is a different system. The recording system is not like our jotting notes on a notebook, but everything which is done here on earth leaves its mark behind, like fingerprints. So that is the recording system. But I told you that there is a system, for every system in nature, there is a corresponding creation of angels who look after these things and run it. Otherwise, if they do not control things, the nature will go topsy-turvy. It is not like a machine which is going of itself automatically. For every organization, there is an organizer. There has to be an organizer and one who maintains that organization. This is the lesson drawn from the nature itself. So how can you conceive such a vast machinery of nature going on automatically? There is no automation about it. Everything is run and everything is being governed and looked after by some spirits, which in Quranic terminology are called malaika, angels as you call it in English. So some angels are particularly responsible for maintaining the system of recording, and those angels which are relegated the task in detail, there may be some individual angels responsible for some individual recordings. We don't know how many, because the Holy Quran says that the Junood Rabbika, that is all the creation of the Lord, is unlimited. You can't count them. So they are responsible, and among those Junood are included the Malaika. So they are responsible, and maybe there are two particular ones for you. We don't know. For every one, there is an internal system of recording, and that system is so vast and so detailed that hundreds of thousands of calculations, or even more, millions perhaps, or even more, because once one thinks of things going on within one's brain, at each site, millions of calculations are made by the internal computer of the brain, and co-relationship is recorded, the past reactions, similarities. So in a split second, this goes on. So that means if there are two angels responsible for one individual, they will be very heavily engaged, of course, because the things of recording going on within every individual are countless. Absolutely fantastic how they swell when you come to think of them. That was your first question or the preliminary?
Preliminary.
Not started yet. Yes, all right, start.
This may be hypothetical.
Before asking a question, you warmed up.
This may be a hypothetical question, but I was wondering if people kindly answer that. I wonder what would have been the hypothetical question. Yeah. I wonder what would have been the reaction of Sahaba Kram when Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam named 10 Sahaba as Janati. They were foretold about it, and I got a list of their names.
You wonder?
Yeah, after all, they are all Janati in the way I think.
You wonder about it.
Well, so 10 of them were told, and the rest.
So the rest of the Sahaba must be left wondering. Go back and give them there. All right, your next question.
This is I was reading from the Malfuza. Hazrat Masih Maud has said, जिसने मेरी तकसीब की उसने रसूलुल्लाह की तकसीब की, जिसने रसूलुल्लाह की तकसीब की उसने कुरान मजीद की तकसीब की. And then there are similar verses in the Holy Quran. وَإِذْ قَالَ عِيسَى ابْنُ مَرْيَمَ يَا بَنِي وَإِذْ قَالَ عِيسَى ابْنُ مَرْيَمَ يَا بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ إِنِّي رَسُولُ اللَّهِ إِلَيْكُمْ مُصَدِّقٌ لِمَا بَيْنَ يَدَيَّ مِنَ التَّوْرَاةِ وَمُبَشِّرٌ بِرَسُولٍ يَأْتِي مِنْ بَعْدِهِ اسمه أحمد فلما جاءهم بالبينات قالوا هذا سحر مبين. In this one, sir, I want to know this Ismahu Ahmad. Is it Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa or Hazrat Promised Messiah?
What relation does it have?
Well, this is linked with this. I have 3-4 parts of the question.
I have explained it many times before that initially it is Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam who is mentioned as Ahmad, because he has two main attributes, one Muhammad and the other Ahmad. They are attributive names, names carrying attributions and descriptions of his character. So when he was to come again, as in the very next surah, Surah Jummah, it is depicted. You know, this is the beautiful arrangement of the Holy Quran. In Surah Saf,